This is a Human Collective podcast. This is episode 2.
See this extending human sight far beyond the horizon.
Hello, humans. This is the Human Collective podcast with me, Ross Taylor. For 30 minutes each episode, I'll be chatting to my friends in arguably the weirdest industry on planet Earth, TV and film, of course. This week, I was joined by music artist, producer, HC Crew, and all-around sound guy, Jay Clique. See what I did there? Got jokes for this podcast. Jay moved to Northern Ireland from Sheffield with a passion for making music and a studious curiosity for broadcast television. And after living in Belfast for basically 2 weeks, he managed to nab a gig with Sony International Indie Stellify Media. Now, Jay was core operations in Stellify, and to explain that in layman terms, he's basically at the center of a hurricane of work. And I personally worked with him when things were super busy, and I can say with true honesty that this is a guy that you want to have in your crew for any show. Composure and chaos would be a key quality in Jay. I mean, the guy has produced and churned out a music video in the middle of a global pandemic, so I mean, whatever he does on TV from now on, what's definitely obvious is that music's always been his first love. And it was actually really awesome to chat to Jay about his new track, Light Show, and his journey to make music, no matter what the circumstances are. And as soon as this podcast ends, we'll roll right into the video so you can enjoy it just like I did. Enjoy, guys. Hello, Jay.
Hello, how's it going? Rox?
Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
It really has, yeah, it really has. How's
It's been a
things?
while, I think, it's been a while since anyone's seen anybody.
Well, yeah, that's so true. Like every person that you see now, it'll be like, "Oh, it's been a while." Yeah, yeah. It's been a while.
There's people out there who I don't miss as much.
Yeah.
Put it that way. But you are one of those people who I actually do miss.
I feel very special, very special.
I'm literally just lying to you because we're on a podcast and people are going to be listening, so I have to be nice to you, of course. Jay, yeah, obviously it's great to see you, man. We've started this podcast as another kind of extension of the Human Collective, but we kind of thought it'd be a great idea as well to kind of for our listeners who are coming into this kind of creation, I could say, it's the only way to describe it, is that we can use this as a platform to kind of put out the skills that the people inside it have, and talk about their kind of talk about the things that they're involved in, what they want to be involved in, just learn a wee bit about them, man. And for me, I've known you so long as Jay in Stellify, Jay in work, and it's nice for me to talk to you as Jay the artist,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I have to say, man, I listened to your track Light Show, and then I just went on like a rabbit hole listening to all your other tunes, like, and first time that I'd heard them all, so through fresh ears, like I really enjoyed it. But first of all, before I get into that, tell me how your lockdown's been, like, from the start. What's the process like for you?
It's been a weird, I guess a weird transition because so the first week, the week before the lockdown, I was actually on holiday from work at the time. So I had a full week off and I only had 3 days left on my contract for the next week, which was the week of the lockdown. And so it was a bit like, I was like finishing up, but I literally never saw anyone again, like from my holiday. It was just like, yeah, see you later, guys. And then that was it. Like we didn't get to, meet up in the office, I mean, we worked together, how the parties are and stuff. So it was like none of that. It was kind of just like, okay, this is it, guys. So now like an email, and that was pretty much my exit. But obviously we've all said that we'd love to meet up again. but it just made the whole transition very weird, because then it was like, okay, cool, you know, like that's finished now. And like before obviously the lockdown as well, I'd like applied for a few jobs as well in different areas, like sound, so more in my area. And it's like I was waiting to hear back, and it wasn't that I was waiting to hear back and, you know, not expecting to, you know, get some good news from somewhere. And so like when everything just stopped, it was like, oh, okay, so yeah, none of these people are gonna get back to me like anytime soon. So that it kind of, you know, it was a little bit of a hard transition at first, because then it was like, all right, now I'm going to be unemployed, which I haven't been in God knows how long. Like even, you know, when I first came to Northern Ireland, I came in the end of September, and then was working within 2 weeks of, you know, like being here. And then just went from that job to the next. And so yeah, it was a bit of a, you know, a strange time. But it was like I found myself thinking like there's two ways I can look at it. I can either be like, you know, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Or I can, you know, use the time constructively to kind of, you know, build on something that I've actually wanted to do, you know, since I was a teenager, which was my music and stuff. So yeah, I've just been, you know, investing in me, as they say.
Man, you know, investing in you is such a important thing, and you know, I will also say this right now that I've said it, after listening to the first podcast, two things: I'm trying my absolute best to not say you know and like. So if I do say it, you have to like just fucking tell me to stop doing that, because you realize the things that you do like just without thinking about it, you know. And I just did it there. Yeah, so self-care, man, being selfish, it is an important thing. And it really did. I felt like it really came in waves. Yeah, the lockdowns process, because like the first couple of weeks, I was like, surely this can't be. It can't be, as your mind can't quite fathom the idea of there being absolutely zero work for anybody. You know, I went for 2 weeks just absolutely gunning it and looking in every crevice of the internet for a job, like messaging every person that I've known, and they're like, seriously, there's nothing happening. And when I got the sort of sense that TV was kind of on its knees, then I thought, you know what, like there's no point in me sitting around here waiting for TV to come to me, you know. And I mean, what can you do other than either go out, look for another job, or if you're lucky enough, you know, to be in that luxurious position where you can focus on your art without having certain stresses. I mean, obviously there's obviously going to be bubbling stresses there. We have ours, you know, but I got lucky enough to be able to commit to the extracurricular and work on me as well. And I mean, how important is it? It's a once in a lifetime opportunity in a sense, if you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, that's exactly how, you know, I was looking at it for myself. It was kind of like, when else in life are you gonna be given an opportunity to work on your own stuff, have everybody in the same position that they're in the house looking for entertainment? And, you know, as someone who, you know, as a creative, someone who can do what I do from, you know, literally sat here in my house, it just kind of gave me the drive to be like, all right, you know what, I've had a lot of excuses over the time, like, you know, not had the equipment, not had the, you know, the right people around me, for example. But it was just like, you know what, like all that out the window, let's just get down to it, let's do it. And yeah, so, you know, it's a process. It's not something that would happen overnight, but yeah, it's like learning skills constantly as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear about that process, because I know a lot of creatives have different types of processes. Like if someone was going to ask me about how I would think about doing any comedy writing or thinking about developing ideas for documentaries, a lot of the times it comes at the weirdest time. Like I would play my Xbox. I would be like driving around in GTA. I'd be like, you know, look, sometimes you have to ingest some of the internet and what's going on. Sometimes it's better to go for a walk or exercise. Like I find that, you know, to find those certain thoughts, it's not always sitting down looking at a notepad or looking at the computer screen going like, okay, or staring at a wall thinking, where's this idea going to come from? You know, it just doesn't work that way. So what was your process like throughout lockdown?
Yeah, so I mean, in general, my process is very, I don't know, I think it changes from time to time. It depends as well, because a lot of my music does come from like my situations that I'm in. And so like even with the project 10,000 Hours, which I actually wrote when I was in London. So, and it's weird because the whole span of the album, which is like 17 songs, the first song on the album was in my first year in London, so 2015. And then like span till 2018. So it's like 3 years of like, just writing songs um yeah, like you say, it's weird because you get inspiration at the weirdest times. And like for me, sometimes it'll just be, as simple as, being in the shower, listening to like a beat that I've made and be like, oh yeah, that would make a good hook. And there's times where I'm just sweating over the chorus, like this is not coming together. Like I'm just not gonna be able to do this, and like throwing a little tantrum, walking out, coming back, and yeah, it's fun. It's frustrating, but also it's like that's a big part of it that I enjoy. It's like the challenge of when you sat down, there was nothing there, and then you build on it and build on it and build on it, and then at the end you're just like, you know what, like I made this. And you show it to someone else and they might be like, yeah, that's really good. And then, or they might be like, wow, this is amazing, like one of the best things you've ever made. But whatever the feedback is, that you took something that nobody had anywhere in the world and you was like, you know what, I'm going to make this from it. And it came to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's cool that like you're even floating ideas with someone. You know, you've got T, your lovely wife there, who is,
Yeah.
by the way, an
Wife to
incredible
be at
singer.
this moment, but
Oh right, yes, of course. Oh my god, man. So like, so you guys have had your like engagement parties and everything. That was what it
Yeah,
was.
so you're not actually,
yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't actually got married yet.
No, that's still to come. Yeah,
Right,
luckily it
still
wasn't.
fiance.
Yeah, fiance. Oh. But luckily for us, we hadn't planned it for this year, so it's been, well, I say lucky. It just means that we have more time to kind of make sure everything's back kind of to normal, I guess, as normal as it can be,
Yeah,
before the
of
day
course.
ends. So.
You kind of touched on. Oh, sorry, we've got a bit of lag in the internet there. What were you just saying there?
Oh no, yeah, I was just giving it back to you because you were saying something about the circle of people.
Yeah, I have no idea what that reference is to, so sometimes I just forget the shit that I talk about sometimes. But no, what made me think about T was that, like, at least you're putting ideas out there, and she's like, you've got someone there to go, that's a good idea, you should keep running with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes with like comedy or certain things, like sometimes maybe that idea isn't fully fleshed out in my head and it just looks like a bunch of gibberish to Eloise, and she's like, I don't know, like, I guess you understand it more than I do. And I'm like, yeah, and off I go, like having to try and flesh this thing out, massage this idea out into something legible, like.
Yeah. No, that like, yeah, like I love the fact that it's like I say to T, like T, I mean, she sings herself. She's, an artist in her own right. And I've produced for her in the past, and we are going to be doing a project together. But like the thing about T, which I really appreciate, is that she is a person that she will give a honest opinion. And yeah, it's not always easy to listen to, I tell you. Like sometimes it is, yeah, that's okay. But or like, as she is the singer, like I'd say in the family, she is the singer out of the two of us, and I'm more the rapper. But it's like if I sing like a hook, she'll be like, I like the idea, I like the melody, but I think you should re-sing it. And then I'll be like, what? Like, but it comes from a loving place. And it's like I was saying to her just the other day, like I know some producers, like back home in Sheffield, and all over, like throughout my journey of getting here, and it's like they don't have that person or like a few people like close to them that will tell them, you know, this isn't great, because they might say, you know, it's all right, or they'll say, yeah, it's not great. And then when you ask them why, they're just like, I don't know. So it's like you're not getting that constructive criticism to kind of build on. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important, especially as a creative, because I think one thing about being a creative is I don't know if you'll feel this about, you know, like doing your stand-ups and stuff. You'll have an idea and you'll be like, yes, this is the way it's going. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, there's another idea. I'm going to chase this one. And then you're kind of all over the place. So it's nice to have someone who can say, yeah, you know what, I think you should follow this one, or I think you know, should stick to what you're doing on this. Yes.
Absolutely, man. The creative process is obviously, it's every individual is different, but at the end of the day, it's so important, just as important, to have somebody there to try and cut through some of the bullshit, you know, because definitely for comedy, it's like when you're writing something, it has to make somebody laugh. Someone has to think in some way that it's funny, and you know, that's where I get this sort of understanding. If it's or she goes, if she could read that and be like, you know, that is funny, but I think it might work better if that way. We have a good sort of dialogue that way. She would be free to kind of express maybe ideas, but also definitely not afraid to tell me if it's shite, which is sometimes, like I say, a hard pill to swallow. But it is important, because there are people who don't want to shoot the dream down, and you gotta respect those are usually the people who are turning up to your gigs as well and supporting you, and that's obviously really important as well. But at the same time, you do need people to tell you if you're crap, and sometimes it's not easy to hear. Not even necessarily crap, but you know, to help you go in the right direction, because it comes from a place of love, you know, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well, like what I found was I have like a small circle, and the circle does consist of T and a few other people throughout my life who. Some people are into music like I am, so some producers, some that are just artists, and some that just listen to music. They've always liked music, and most importantly to me, like my kind of music, so the kind of music that I would make, so like hip hop, R&B, that kind of stuff. So it's like whenever I'm working on a project, I'd like to give them the first listen, because it's like getting feedback from people who listen to music but not necessarily take part in making it. It's like you're going to get something different to someone who's a producer, or someone who's, you know, like an artist as well, who raps or sings, because it's like they're going to critique different parts of that project. And it's like I most recently just sent I think 2 songs, one song that me and T have done together that we'll be releasing hopefully soon, well, later this year. But yeah, so it's like getting that feedback, and you know, things to work on, things to touch up and stuff. And I always say there's things that will change, because you know, people have said, and it's like, oh, I didn't think of that, or I thought of it but I didn't think it was that bad. And then there's things that I'll be like, no, that's how it is. I wanted it to be that way because it's my artistic you know, creation, and you know, that's my vision for it. So
yeah, man, I think at the same time, you know, what you're trying to do is always be truthful with your intentions. You know, when you're putting out your content, what stage of your life are you at? What is the message that you want to convey? What is the song all about? And you know, for me, I feel in your songs there's really, and I love the videos, like I enjoy them. They're like, you could listen to the songs and enjoy them, but you get such a great sense of the journey when you watch the videos as well, and you're never afraid to kind of let people into the personal side of your journey, like the love that you have for music, the love that you have for tea, and the dreams and ambition that you're reaching for. And you've some great videos there. Like, you're going to be looking back on them, you know, in a long time. Even I especially love the, you know, the videos of you, you know, in halls with the microphone, and having that, like, you showed me a video before, it was like one of your first performances, and then you know, calling you up on stage. I remember like myself with stand up, you know, I haven't done stand up in ages, but I'll never forget that feeling of walking up almost shaking inside. You look so much cooler than like what's going on in your mind, you know, and your eyes blown apart. You're like, oh my god, this is it, you know. But the journey is painted so well in your videos, and it's something that is a really lovely personal touch to the videos. But I mean, there's something about the tune, man. It's a hit with the girlfriends. I mean, they're all enjoying all the Jay Clique tunes. Like, I listen to it, I turn around, I'm like, 1 minute she's like, oh my god, it's so cute, and I turn on the next minute she's like,
Yeah,
bopping away, you know what I mean?
it's good, man. That's really good. Getting fans.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what are your family thinking about the music career? Have they been supportive?
Yeah, it's funny because I always remember. So like when I was like what 14, 13, 14, and I like made one of my first songs. And it's like I showed it to my dad. So it wasn't just like me on the track. It was like me and a few of my cousins and friends and stuff. And because back in them days, like no one had studio money, so it's like you all had to put two. So we all got on the track, and that's how it worked. But yeah, I showed my dad, and he was just like, it's like he had just such a stern face, and I was there like really excited for my part, and I'm like, yeah, there I am, and he's just like, so what's it saying? And I was just like, what? Did you not understand the lyrics? Like, what you asking me? And he was like, yeah, but what is it saying? Like, what's your message? And he's the person who, like, the music that he listens to, he likes to, listen to people that, he believes has a good message, or, something that there's a reason why they made the music. Because, I mean, at that time, 13, 14, I was just happy to get my voice on a piece of music, to put out, and it's like he kind of like instilled that in me, I guess, from then, to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to make music, but what is it that I'm actually going to be saying? And it's like secretly, I never told him, but it's like I wanted to make music that I could show to him and be like, all right, this is what I'm saying, and he could see it or hear it and understand and be like, oh, okay, cool, you know what I mean? And like more recently, he's shown a lot more, like a lot of support, like definitely sending it around and stuff. And yeah, like I don't know if you've seen Pretty, the music video I did for Pretty. He's actually
I haven't
in
seen that one yet, no.
Yeah, so it's a
Oh,
black
really?
hole. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so the whole story behind Pretty was it was around the time of my graduation, and the song itself is kind of representative of like my journey, and the message is pretty much like, it's kind of like, self-love. It's like, I've been through a lot, and, I didn't make the best decisions. I didn't, come out looking my best of a lot of situations, but I still look at myself. I still, can say to myself that I feel pretty. And, so for the video, I had an idea, which was to get my family and T's family. So like her brother, her sister's, her brother's fiance now as well. And then I got my mom, my dad, and my two sisters, and basically we sat them down one by one, and they listened to the song. And so I just had it playing, just hit record. I was like, yeah, just do whatever, like, however you feel in the song, you can listen to it, you can dance to it, you can, like whatever you feel. And it was just that first impressions that I got to capture. And yeah, I loved it. Like to me, it was just something, that now I can look back on, and, especially around that time of like graduating and doing so well as well when I graduated, and the people who was around me and close to me at the time are now like, cemented in history. And
brilliant, man. I mean, I mean, shout out to Jay and T's family for getting involved in that. I mean, that's phenomenal support, and great to see it. I'll go quickly back to the TV side of things, just because I try to anyone I bring into the podcast now, I'm trying to kind of work out exactly how TV has made an impact on your career. And you came in, you're from Salford, right?
No, so I'm from Sheffield originally.
You're from Sheffield, right? Cool. We can edit that part out. No, it's only flagging. But yeah, so you came over from Sheffield, and you were working Stellify within 2 weeks of living in this country that you'd never been before. Had you done any TV stuff before that, or what that sort of jobs? What have they been like for you?
So basically, the journey was I was living in Sheffield, and I I didn't do well when I was like 17, 18, pretty much into partying and that kind of thing. So I didn't really focus. I wasn't
Been there.
yeah, wasn't bothered about uni at all. Like I was like, university is not for me. Like looking at, the University of Sheffield and like Hallam and stuff and the courses at the time. And I was like, I can't see me doing any of these. I didn't really have like a long look because I missed that there were courses about music and stuff that I was actually into. Speaking to guidance counselors and they were saying, you should do business studies, which, I do have a love for business, but I hated learning about it, which, I don't know how that even works, but it's just how it was. And so, so when I left, I just went into retail. I was in retail for a while. And then while I was there, it's like I wanted to get back into education. And so it was a very difficult upward battle. I applied to a college in Sheffield 3 years in a row. And the reason I had to do that wasn't because they wouldn't allow me to go. It was because I couldn't pay for it myself, which I had to at the time. And so when I was 24, I got a 24 plus loan and ended up doing the course. Did 1 year of a 2 year course there, and then went to uni because I got in just off life experience, I think, and off the course as well. So I ended up going to London, and while I was on that course, on the college course, I did a module because it was music technology, and I did a module which was sound with, I think it was sound with film or sound for media. I think it might have even been called, and I loved it. Like I was like, what? Putting sound with visuals. There was all things like Foley sounds. I don't know if you're familiar, but yeah, like which I just took to. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a Foley artist, and I was really interested in put the sound that goes into films. That there was a whole other than working on the radio and like doing things in music there was like composing, there was like a lot of different avenues that just seemed to be open to me, and so I was very like very interested in doing that. So when I went to my university course, they had music production and music and sound for media as two different courses, and so I did the sound for media one. So I spent 3 years doing that. So in that course, they taught me all about, working in a studio and doing like music and recording bands and all that kind of stuff. But then also we had to make our own films. So we had to film it, we had to edit it, we had to do the sound for it. And, so it was more geared up for like working in film. So then when I left that and then we came to Belfast due to T's PhD, and I actually worked in a call center for 3 months. So from October to roughly end of December, and then started at Stellify. Yeah, it was grueling. It was grueling.
That's shivers talking about call centers.
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm not made for that, really. I'm not. I would sit and have conversations with the people I'm trying to sell to, and just end up talking about their lives, and it just wasn't me. But I ended up getting a job. I just applied for, it was a 3 month contract at Stellify. So originally it was just my mindset was it was less money. It was not guaranteed after the 3 months, but it was a lot better than what I was doing. So I was like, let me just go for it. And it was just an office junior role, not to be knocked. Office juniors are, the ones that keep this place running. but yeah, and then again, that just opened my eyes. Like TV was like a whole new world, very different to film, even in, a lot of the ways that it's constructed, the having the development team and, all these production teams and like just the way that even the calendars, even how everything was put together and worked, it just seemed very different to what I was used to. So yeah, I spent time, around a few heads like yourself, and like started, making myself more knowledgeable on, working life in TV, and yeah, that's my journey so far.
Yeah, so I mean, for people who don't know who Stellify Media are, they are an extremely busy Sony Pictures and indie in Northern Ireland. They've been making stuff for. They made a quiz show called Flinch for Netflix. They have made the shows internationally. One most notably is Can't Touch This, which is a show made in Mexico, which is another major production, and do a lot of local stuff as well. I was a casting researcher on No Place Like Tyrone. And Beauty Queen and Single was the first big show that came with Stellify that was a real hit. It's now selling internationally in multiple places in the world. So it's a very busy company, and I think what better company to sort of cut your teeth in and learn, pick the right brains. And for me, like working with you, what I will say about you, Jay, is that it seemed to me, even in the midst of complete chaos, you were always keeping your composure and moving forward, and it never seemed to me like your world was crumbling down until you told me that you're stressed. I'm like, how's it going, Jay? You're like, stressful day to day, and that, but you never seem to let it get to you, like, whereas I guess like sometimes you can basically see it on my face most times, but I'm still plowing through it. But tell me about where do you think that comes from?
Well, the coolness, uh, I don't know. I've been told that has been something that's followed me like since school times. Like it's just always been, something that people have said about me, and I've never really. Because obviously for me, it's like when I feel stressed, I feel stressed. But it's like people have always said, like I keep my composure. And I remember my first job in retail, and we had this one manager, and she was very small, and she had a very large presence, and she used to like to make people know that she was the boss. She was very important, and when she met me, like she told me after, like that it's like she wanted to not break me, but she wanted to make me lose my cool because she couldn't understand how I was so calm. And so it's like we had like a few head to heads, and like after a while, it's like she realized, like from talking to other people who were around me and stuff, like that was just how I was and stuff. And we became closer. And but yeah, it's just it's weird, it's very strange. But I did hear from, so there was a God, I can't remember his name now, which is embarrassing, but he was a very good sound engineer. He worked with a lot of great people, Michael Jackson, Prince, like
Wow.
yeah, a lot of big people. Is an American guy, and I went to very recently, actually. It was in while I've been here, it was in Belfast. They had like a not conference, but basically he was giving a talk. And one thing he said was like while he was working with all these like big names and stuff, he was like in the midst of, like when he first started out, he was just in the midst of all these like celebrities, the people he looked up to, and they're all relying on him, like he was the sound engineer. So they was having an issue, and so he was going in, and he was like scratching his head, looking around, like, and the more that he was thinking about how much pressure was on him, the more that he was kind of just going around trying to do everything. And he said one of the guys like took him to the side and was like, look, I know that you're stressed and things aren't going your way, but one thing you have to remember is these people think that you know what you're doing. If you have to do 5 or 6 different things to get it to work, that's fine. But the moment that you start losing your head, everyone else is going to be like, God, what is going on? What is actually happening? And they're going to start panicking too, because they look to you. And it's so true, like something that I didn't really ever think about before that moment. But I guess, you know, it's not where I get it from, but it's something that will now help me to, you know, keep my cool.
Yeah, man. So you don't have no trade secrets then? He's just calm, guys. Nothing bothers Jay. You're not gonna tell me how to fucking do it because I'd like to know.
maybe just, you know, wherever you are, if you can find like a little closet, like a cupboard, a pillow even, and just like scream into it. Ah! Sometimes it helps, to, you know, tense every muscle in your body all at once. And then, just relax, you know, let it all go. Sometimes.
Hey man, I tend to listen to 10,000 hours. That's what I do whenever I'm stressed. I just stand and just like a Footloose kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Just throwing stuff around.
Jay, because I'm my aim at the art in this podcast is I want to keep it nice and clean, as clean as I can. But I want to finish by saying that I really enjoyed Light Show, and more than anything, man, I'm so thrilled that you're like in this place where you're putting out your content, and it's never like this has never even faltered you in any way. This lockdown from a content perspective, because, you know, Light Show looks amazing. Like you wouldn't even think that this guy was under any sort of budget constraints or anything, because the idea is so simple and clever that it works, and the lights like work with the, you know, it's an old, you know, theater trick to, you know, to see that what color the lights and emotions, what are they conveying, and, you know, it works perfectly, and it looks really good. The song's great too. Where can everybody who want to listen to this song find it and more of Jay Clique's content?
Yes, so there are numerous places. If you're a Spotify head, or, you know, iTunes or Apple Music even, you can go there, just type in Jay Clique. The Clique is spelled like Clique, so it's CLIQUE, just for those who don't know, and Jay is JAY. I've got my own website as well, so it's www.jayclique.com, where I have all my videos. Also YouTube, again, my own channel, so it's Jay Clique. And all, I think, major online stores will have it as well. So if it's Tidal or, you know, any of those places, I'm around.
Wow, man! Look, this was like the first Human Collective plug for Crew. This is epic. Like, this is a really big moment for us. It is, man. Like, you know, Jay, it's been awesome chatting to you again, and like, congrats for getting Light Show out, and, you know, really plowing through that creative process. I think other people who listen to this is going to try and maybe they're going to pick up the notepad, or maybe they're going to go for a walk, or do whatever they do to get their process going again.
Get in the shower.
Get in the shower, man. Start singing.
It's the best place.
Find your most hateful enemy and play your song to them. Tell them your ideas, and so they can tell you that you suck. But after me and you get finished up, I want to play Light Show straight after this. So this will be available for people to hear on our Spotify and on our YouTube channel as well. But Jay, thank you very much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I look forward to working with you in future Human Collective projects. If not, just being at a Jay Clique gig. Free comp tickets, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
Sweet. Fergus, roll the video, boy. That's when the video comes in.
I think you should leave that bit in. That's when the video comes.
I will. I'm going to leave this in. Now you can roll the video, Fergus. All right.
I'm sick of all these whiner guys, gotta be designer guys. I rock up in my H&M and still these gangsters wise. It's time that you recognize Jay Clique, yeah, I'm on the rise. For those who don't believe, don't be calling when I'm televised. Yo, Pete, I know they really don't like that I got it, that I drop it on the track like the hardest. When I'm in the building, they're in the garden. Tens of five, so I feel like an arson. Sometimes I just feel to murder them and then bury them, and then I realize nobody's heard of them. Ha! Ooh, you don't know just how I might go. Make a man fly like kite, bro. I shine bright, yo. Welcome to the Light Show. Ooh, you don't know just how I might go. Make a man to the light show. Listening to Kendrick cause I heard he's got the recipe. Decapitate my corpse and know they still can get ahead of me. Who would've gonna replace me with put someone instead of me? No one, I mean at least not this century. See I got an ego but no ego boost. Killing rappers like they asked me to. They never should've started, see they know the truth. I run the town from the recording booth. Ooh, you don't know just how I might go. Make a man fly like kite, bro. I shine bright, yeah. Welcome to the light show. Ooh, you don't know just how I might go. Make a man fly like kite, bro. I shine bright, yeah. Welcome to the light show. I guarantee this is a war that you don't wanna start with me. Bother me, there's no mercy, your heart with me. When I'm stepping into the booth, I intend to body MCs. They let me off of the chain and I don't mean a Jesus piece. Brother, please, are you really talking to me? You're just running lines with a guy behind. Cause what you will find is almost time for the garbage you're producing. Simply spewing on these rappers like pollution. I will ruin your conclusion. Ooh, you don't know just how I might go. Make a man fly like kite, bro. I shine bright, yeah. Welcome to the light show. Ooh, you don't know just how I might go. Make a man fly like kite, bro. I shine bright, yeah. Welcome to the light show.